Come on, we've started. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first of the Interstate Polo Challenge.
Yeah, play.
And of course, it's Queensland versus New South Wales, and it's New South Wales heading for the halfway line now. Johnny Jones comes through, just taps the ball forward, brings it onto the 40-yard line, drives it towards the post, but it's gone wide to the right, so no score results. And Queensland will hit in from the back line.
Play.
So, Glen Gilmore just looking for his son Lockie, who's up there for Queensland, but he's covered nicely by Richard Curran. No, he gets a stick to the ball, and Lockie runs it in towards goal. Here's Queensland looking dangerous, and now Lockie Gilmore will tap it through, and the first goal goes to Queensland.
Just here, boys.
Righto, back into the centre we go, and we have Queensland away on the attack again. Lovely long strop by Lockie Gilmore. That will go wide to the left, though, so no score. It remains Queensland 1, New South Wales yet to score.
Play.
So, from the back line is Kelvin Johnson for New South Wales. He'll drop the ball onto the halfway line. Running to it now is Johnny Jones. He takes it out off the centre, looking for that near side shot from Richard Curran, but Glen Gilmore's first there. He'll take it out towards the sideline, clearing the way for Queensland. Knocks it up for Kelvin Johnson to take possession now for New South Wales. He's got a bit of time. Nobody marking him at the moment. Here comes Lockie Gilmore to keep him honest, but he'll just keep control of the ball. Taps it under Lockie's pony. Now brings it down, running it down towards goal. Here's New South Wales on the attack. Kelvin Johnson will even the scores up now. It's Queensland 1, New South Wales 1.
Well, if you've just joined us, we're watching the Polo Teams Challenge competition. This is the first match in the series at the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
Come on, boys. That.
So back to the centre. The umpire throws the ball in, and it gets caught up amongst the number 2s, number 1s. But eventually it's Lockie Gilmore with a near side shot. Glen Gilmore picks up the pass. Kelvin Johnson goes hard to him. 6 goals, 5 goals. Here goes Kelvin Johnson in now. Oh, lovely backhand, and nicely stopped there by Johnny Jones on the shoulder. Drops down in front, can't get hold of the ball. Now he gets it. Brings it around. Glen Gilmore's back there to cover. Doesn't quite get to him though. Johnny Jones out on his own now for New South Wales. He'll run it down towards the goal. Just trying to keep control of it. It's running up nicely. Doesn't need to control. It'll go through. And that puts New South Wales into the lead now by 2 goals to 1.
Set.
So the ball's back in play, right through the ruck. Kelvin Johnson on the end of it. Turns a backhand around, looking for Johnny Jones once again, but it's stolen here by Glen Gilmore, who pushes it through the ruck. He'll take the ball down towards the goal. He's just got to straighten it up from here, but this could be the equaliser for Queensland. Yes, it is. It's 2 goals all in the first chugger.
Mate, I don't want to hear it. Come on, boys. Set.
Ball's thrown in. Digging for it there's Johnny Jones, but it's Lockie Gilmore eventually gets hold of it. Kelvin Johnson, little near side shot, keeps possession. Go around the corner from here. He looked to see if he's got any forward players up there. Tries to get it away from Lockie Gilmore's pony. Now he unloads. And Richard Curran's running hard to it, but Glen Gilmore's read it better. In comes Johnny Jones. He can't come in there, though, so Glen Gilmore comes around the corner with it, brings it out towards the sideline. Now he'll go for the big hit from here, lofts it, looking for Lockie Gilmore, but nice backhand by Kelvin Johnson. He's sitting deep in this game and trying to stop this strong Queensland attack. Now it's backed by Glen Gilmore. Next to it, Lockie Gilmore. Now Kelvin Johnson out on the left-hand side. He's got a player. It's Richard Curran. And Kelvin Johnson's shot, well, if it had been straight, it would have gone through the goal. It was straight enough to get over the back line, strong enough, but it remains 2 goals all.
Hey.
Queensland versus New South Wales. First of our 3 nights of cumulative scores. So Glen Gilmore bangs the ball down to about 40 yards out. Onto it now is Johnny Jones. Johnny Jones shot a good pass to Kelvin Johnson. Johnson brings the ball up. Now he'll look for the long shot from here. Takes it into centre field. Glen Gilmore cuts him out of the way and plays the near side shot. Doesn't quite get hold of it. Kelvin Johnson picks up what left. Now he just drives the ball down to the goal. It'll be 3 goals to New South Wales. 3 goals to 2 the score in the first chukker. We've got about a minute to go. We're playing 4 chukkers here on the showground. For those of you who may not have seen Polo here on the show before, but may have seen it on the big full-size field, you'll notice there's only 3 players. That's in this oval-shaped field. It gets a bit busy if you've got 4 aside, but it does mean that the Polo opens up a lot because there's no fullback. So here's Glen Gilmore from the back for Queensland. Over the halfway. Brings the ball forward. Hooked out of the play there by Johnny Jones. Kelvin Johnson sends it up to Richard Curran. Richard Curran brings it up for Kelvin Johnson now. Johnson gets a bit of length on the ball instead of fiddling about, but he'll run it down towards goal. Here's New South Wales on the attack again. He gets it and he picks it up and he puts it through. And so with 17 seconds left in the chukker, New South Wales 4 goals to 2.
Don't have to yell. Chukker.
So we probably haven't got time to get back to the centre, so I think they'll call that chukker. And they'll go off and change horses and come back for the second. With New South Wales in a pretty handy position now. 4 goals to 2. 2 goals in front, 3 chukkers to go.
Well, Ian McDewey, our commentator here for our Polo Challenge. Now, I wonder if you could explain to the boys and girls and mums and dads the different positions out there that they're playing. Understandably, 4 players down to 3 for this side field, but they each have a different responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. The number 1 is a bit like a winger in rugby league or rugby union, or a centre forward in soccer. He's the guy who's supposed to hit the goals. The ball is supposed to come up to him and hit it, but of course, in the 3-a-side, it's very hard for them to get clear. The number 2, he's your pivot. He fights for the ball in the ruck and tries to set the plays up in the middle of the field, and looking for his number 1 normally. And the number 3 is the back. He plays a bit of a fullback's role, but quite often you'll see them coming up into the game if they're not being marked. So generally look for the number 1s to be running to goal and the number 3s to be sitting deep.
Now you can see down on the side of the arena here in front of the Sydney Royal stand, there's a number of horses unmanned at the moment. What are they doing?
Well, if you think about Polo compared to, say, the Melbourne Cup, the Melbourne Cup goes for 3.5 minutes. These horses are out here for 6.5 minutes, so they've got to go nearly twice as long. The average jockey and saddle weighs about 52 kilos. By the time you put a Polo saddle and a big man on some of these boys playing, it's probably between 80 and 100 kilos. So it takes quite a lot out of the horses. So you'll notice they'll change. They'll get on a new horse after each chukker so the horse doesn't get too tired. So those ones down on the sideline are the ones waiting, either have just played, you'll see their saddles are off, or waiting to play in the next couple of chukkers.
Well, fresh horses and a fresh chukker coming up shortly. We've got the Queensland versus New South Wales Polo Challenge here. Make sure if you're a New South Welshman, you're getting behind Kelvin Johnson, I should say, Johnny Jones and Richard Curran.
And also if you're a Queenslander, we don't mind hearing from you.
Absolutely.
Righto, Kelvin Johnson just warming up this... his next horse. We still call them ponies, but the height limit was lifted of 14.2 hands now, so any size. And quite a lot of these horses are Australian stock horses or ex-race horses. So in it goes again. Now you'll notice New South Wales running in the different direction for this second chukker, and it's taken by Richard Curran, plays it on the near side, pushes New South Wales out to a pretty handy lead of 5 goals to 2. We're only in the second chukker, so a bit of pressure here on Queensland. They'll be looking to pull this lead back a little. They'd like to go in to the halfway mark after 2 chukkers with the scores reasonably even. Backhand there by Kelvin Johnson puts New South Wales on the attack again. Out comes Blake Reed. He just plays a little backhand shot, picked up there by Glen Gilmore. Gilmore unloads, lets it go. Look at the length he's got on that. It bounces down, but it's going to go well to the right of the post. And so big sigh of relief from New South Wales, and it remains New South Wales in the lead, 5 goals to 2 over Queensland. So Kelvin Johnson hits in for New South Wales. Sends it straight up the centre. On the end of that one, Johnny Jones bounces awkwardly for him. So Lockie Gilmore comes in and picks up what's left for Queensland. Now gets a lead here from Blake Reid. Glen Gilmore taps the ball forward. Turned around by Kelvin Johnson. Picked up by Johnny Jones. Now Lockie Gilmore. Pretty messy in the middle here. Gilmore gets clear now and runs the ball down right into that scoring zone. Looking good. No, it's not. It's going to the right of the post. And Richard Curran's happy to just clear that one away. And he'll bring it up towards the side. Oh, picked up by Lockie Gilmore. Gilmore shot there. Blake Reid looking to turn the ball. Doesn't quite get onto it. Now, Kelvin Johnson comes in. He steals the ball away for New South Wales. Up over the halfway. Bring it into centre field. Blake Reid. Nice little backhand shot, and Lockie Gilmore's read that beautifully. He's got the near side shot from here. Goes under the pony's neck. Brings it out into centre field. He'll straighten it up from here. Doesn't get the bouncing ball. And it's left sitting there now for Kelvin Johnson, who drives it out towards the sideline, keeping it out of that danger zone. Taken away by Richard Curran. Curran's shot is blocked there by Kelvin Johnson. Curran comes through again. Keeps the ball rolling. All turned around there by Gilmore. Now he runs up. Lockie Gilmore brings the ball up. Gets a bit of left bend on that. So Glen Gilmore comes in. He's got an angled shot at goal from here. That's high and through the middle. And so Queensland pull it back to 2 goals. It's 5 goals to 3 in favour of New South Wales. Ball's in play. Lockie Gilmore steals it out of the ruck. He's got 2 or 3 lengths clear on the field. Doesn't have to rush this. Brings it down towards goal. He's got a little cut shot from here, but this will pull it back to 1 goal the difference. It's now 5 goals to 4. New South Wales still in the lead. Queensland be a lot happier with that score.
Sit.
So the ball is caught up. Johnny Jones drives it forward, but there's more red shirts than blue ones out there, and it'll be Glen Gilmore who picks it up for Queensland. Now, Lockie's gone up. Here comes... No, it's going to be Blake Reid he's passing it to, who's right out the front. In comes Richard Curran, though, to pinch the ball away for New South Wales, right out of the danger zone. Oh, backhand shot hits a pony, leaves it sitting in front of goal. Little backhand shot by Lockie Gilmore, pops it up in... but doesn't reach his father, Glenn, so it's taken away now by Richard Curran. Curran's shot bounces awkwardly, doesn't get it. Picked up, though, by Kelvin Johnson. He's down to the scoring zone now. In comes Glen Gilmore. Backhand shot by Glenn. Picked up by Richard Curran. Curran will drive it straight in towards goal. Lockie Gilmore back there. So was Blake Reid. Reid blocks the ball. Now Glen Gilmore brings it up towards the half mile. Nice pick up there by Blake Reid. Look at that one, driving it down, sitting up in front of goal. Kelvin Johnson back in defence, looks to see where the ball's going to end up, under the pony's neck. Beautiful clearing shot, defensive play by Kelvin Johnson. So he'll just hit it up to Richard Curran. Curran's got the ball out on the sideline. Still a couple of minutes to go in this chukker, so plenty of time for Queensland to get another goal, bring it back all square, but in comes Kelvin Johnson, runs it up to goal, and that'll push New South Wales out into a 2-goal lead once again. It's 6 goals to 4 in favour of New South Wales. Johnson, backhand shot. Big lofted shot too. In comes Richie Curran again. Near side shot. That'll put... No, it won't. It's going to go left. So it stays... the score remains the same at 6 goals to 4. New South Wales in the lead.
Play.
Glen Gilmore from the back line. Just bringing the ball crisscross the field. Now drives it up, looking for a red shirt. First one to it, though, is going to be Richard Curran in blue. His little backhand shot doesn't get a lot of length, so Lockie Gilmore's able to pick that one up. Just bringing it forward. Kelvin Johnson tries to hook him out of it. So it leaves the ball sitting there now for Glen Gilmore. He can see the goal from here, drives it forward, bangs it through, and that's 6 goals to 5 now. New South Wales clinging to the lead, but only by just a goal. Bounces out on the side. Bell rings with only 28 seconds left in the chucker. Can Gilmore score another one? Can Gilmore stop the New South Wales from scoring another one? Here he does so. Lovely backhand. Happy to see the time running down a bit. He'll just belt this one up the other end. Bang, there it goes. Up over the halfway line. Back there is Richard Curran. Curran will play a little... Well, he dribbles the ball around the corner. He hasn't got only a few seconds left in the chucker. Glen Gilmore hooks Johnny Jones out of it. Picked up now by Lockie Gilmore. There's the second bell. That ends the second chucker. So that's the halfway mark, but absolutely nothing in this. New South Wales leading by just 1 goal, 6 goals to 5 with 2 chuckers to go.
Now, Ian, I don't know if it's just my unusual observation here, but all of our riders have their mallet in their right hand. Is there anything in that?
There is indeed. You can't play left-handed.
So it's a discriminating sport, is it?
Absolutely. No, the reason being that these horses are travelling at about 40 kilometres an hour, and if you had a left-handed player running down the field with a right-handed player coming at them, then that's immediate collision.
And so can left-handed players play if they master the right-handed mallet holding?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I played for quite some time. I'm naturally left-handed, but because you actually... Both hands are important. You're controlling a horse as well. So what you're doing with your left hand is just as important as what you do with your right hand hitting the ball. If you can't take your horse to where the ball is, it doesn't matter whether you hit it or not.
Now, I understand that our umpire has been mic'd up this afternoon. I don't know if he can hear us down there. Do you reckon he might give us a bit of a shout out?
What are they saying?
No, doesn't sound like it's a go this evening. But I'm curious, these players, where do they play ordinarily? Where does the competition happen across the nation?
Well, New South Wales is the strongest state. Probably Queensland to be next. Victoria. Western Australia is quite strong, but relatively small in numbers. Elliston up in the Hunter Valley, which is where Glen Gilmore is now based, but he comes from Queensland originally. Is Kerry Packer's property, which or the Packer family property. Sorry, Kerry's not with us anymore. And that's a wonderful polo facility that's done a lot to improve polo. But most of the polo played in New South Wales is out at Richmond, just west of Sydney. I think there are about 12 polo fields out there and about 6 polo clubs. So there's quite a lot of polo on over Easter. So if you want to go onto the New South Wales Polo website and look up, there's an international match and the Australian Open final. So all that's happening out there over the Easter weekend.
Righto, boys. Johnny's lost. And
we'll have a short break here because I think Richard Curran horse is shaking his bridle off. I know it's Johnny Jones's. And I think Johnny's actually riding a horse of Graham McGregor's called Memo in this chucker, but Memo thought he'd be more comfortable without a bridle.
So, Ian, we've been watching out here the contest between Queensland and New South Wales, and there's a series of defensive tactics that an opposition can use in order to get the ball back or get the ball moving in their direction. What are some of those safe and legal moves that they can undertake?
Well, the rules are basically there to ensure the safety of horses and players. Obviously, with the weight of the horse and the rider travelling at 40 kilometres, what we want to avoid is collisions. So the player travelling closest to the line of the ball, in other words, if the ball is hit travelling down a line, the player who has that on his stick side, right-hand side, he has a right-of-way. No other player is allowed to enter that right-of-way in a dangerous manner. He can cross over well in front. He can set himself up in that right-of-way if he's far enough ahead, but he can't come in where it might cause a collision. So, generally speaking, here on this field, it's not so difficult to police because with only 3 aside and you're moving up and down the field, you don't get the angles. But on a full-size field, you will see quite a number of penalties for that sort of cross. You are allowed to hook the other player's stick, so you can lean out and block him from hitting the ball with your stick, but you can only do that below the shoulder. You can't do it up anywhere around head height. So they're and then you can, if you're riding parallel with another player, you can use your weight and the weight of the horse to try and push him off the line and give you the shot on your side. So they're the major defensive plays, and the rules, I said, are fairly simple.
Did you say...
Well, the aim of the game is to get that ball in between the upright posts at either end. You'll notice that at the end of each chukker, New South Wales and Queensland will swap sides. They'll be going towards the goal that they were previously defending. And looks like we may nearly be ready for the third chukker.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny Jones is back on board with the bridle.
We set?
So he's...
Get on your side, go on.
In it goes. Tapped out there by Glen Gilmore, pushing it up for Lockie. Lockie Gilmore now brings it down towards the goal. Is this the equaliser for Queensland? Looking pretty good. Oh, it's blocked there by Richard Curran, I think. Turned around by Johnny Jones, but in comes Glen Gilmore. The ball's sitting there. He knocks it through. It's 6-all now in the third.
Well, they've stopped the clock.
Yeah. I'll give it to him in a sec.
So there's the umpires notice that there's a loose shoe on the ground, which is obviously fairly dangerous. So he's just got that back. We stop the clock for a few seconds until he's got that, and he puts the ball in. Off the back, it's Glen Gilmore. Can he push Queensland into the lead from here? 6-all the score, but he's hooked out of the play by Kelvin Johnson. Picked up here by Blake Reid. Little backhand shot. Doesn't get a lot of length on it, so in comes Johnny Jones. He puts it out towards the sideline. Tucked in there by Richie Curran. Into centre field goes Blake Reid. Lockie Gilmore's shot hits a pony's foot, goes high in the air, chucks it around behind his tail, looking for Blake Reid, but Kelvin Johnson says, thank you very much, I'll take that one. And he just turns the ball around now. Now he'll try and run it up towards the goal. That's looking pretty good. Kelvin Johnson has hit a goal from halfway. And so not Queensland going to the lead. It's New South Wales back into the lead. 7-6.
Yeah, bloody slippery out here. Sorted.
Bounces off the number ones in the ruck. Lockie Gilmore comes around. Called to leave it by Father Glenn, who says, you go forward, I'll hit the ball. There it goes. Bang, 1, 2, bounce. No, it doesn't even bounce through the goal on the full. Back to 7-all, or back to all square, 7-all.
Front.
Bounces off the number ones once again. They're getting their pony's feet in the way. Blake Reid tries to dig it out. Finally, it's Glen Gilmore who does that. He brings the ball, just keeping control of it, running down towards the goal. He's got this one on a string, taps it through. Into the lead go Queensland now for the first time since the first chukker. 8-7. New South Wales, now a bit of pressure under them. They were 3 goals in front at one stage. Queensland have made up that deficit and pushed themselves out in front. So they've made up a difference of 4 goals in the last couple of chukkers. So again, Queensland in possession. This time Lockie Gilmore. Now Glen Gilmore comes through once again. Pretty handy chestnut ponies on in this chukker. Takes the ball just in towards centre field. Stolen there by Kelvin Johnson, though. He's turned the ball around for New South Wales. Not getting to the halfway, but he's out 2 or 3 lengths clear. Just tapping the ball, trying to get away from Blake Reid. Now picked up by Richard Curran. Curran's shot is covered by Glen Gilmore. He rolls it out towards the sideline. Knew that Kelvin Johnson was there. Wanted to get away from him. So he's got Richie Curran now to look after him. But he just leaves it there now for his son Lockie, who drives the ball down towards the goal. And Lockie Gilmore, you've put them 2 out. 9-7 now, Queensland. So they've found a new gear in this third chukker. So, as I said, bit of pressure here on New South Wales. They've just lost that scoring impetus they had. So what can Richard Curran do with it? He'll bring it down. No, it bounces. He misses. Kelvin Johnson comes in now. Kelvin just trying to get around behind Lockie Gilmore, whose pony kicks it backwards. Kelvin waits to see what Blake Reid's going to do. Kelvin drives it, but puts it right at the post. No score. 9-7 still. Queensland in the lead.
Play.
Well, if you're a Queenslander in the crowd, you'll be feeling pretty proud right now of the work of Blake Reid, Lockie Gilmore and Glen Gilmore.
Yes, they're doing a great job here in this third chukker. And there goes Lockie again, but this time his radar's not quite spot on, and it goes out to the right. So,
well, boys and girls from New South Wales, it's time to get your voice behind Kelvin, Johnny and Richard on the New South Wales team. They're wanting your support now. They're 2 goals behind.
So Kelvin Johnson will see what he can do about this. Drives the ball up the centre. He was looking for Johnny Jones, but it's gone a bit past him and it's left it sitting here now for Lockie Gilmore. No, it's Glen who's got it, and he brings the ball down the centre. Can Blake Reid get out there in time? Probably not. Kelvin Johnson's got this one covered for New South Wales, and he elects to take it across the goal mouth because he's on his own just there. Now he lets it go, pops it up in front of Richard Curran, out towards the sideline. Curran's got to try and straighten it up from here. He does that nicely, keeping control of the ball. Glen Gilmore back there defending for Queensland, takes him off it. Who's the next one to it? Johnny Jones had a crack at it, but now it's Blake Reid. Up to Glen Gilmore. Glen Gilmore will bring it up towards the halfway. Way out on the right-hand side. He'll bring it into centre now. He'll be looking for Lockie Gilmore, but Lockie Gilmore's pretty well covered up there by Johnny Jones, so it's turned around by Richard Curran. Curran's shot is met by Glen Gilmore. Glen Gilmore bringing it across the centre. Nowhere to go with this one. He's got 2 blue shirts hanging onto him. In goes Richard Curran, hook him out of the next play. Does that, knocks it out. But a couple of red shirts have seen what's happening, and it's Lockie Gilmore. Blake Reid's got Johnny Jones covered. Lockie Gilmore, so Richard Curran goes back to cover him. Now he turns the backhand around. Glen Gilmore sitting back. Kelvin Johnson's gone back in defence. Glen Gilmore from the back for Queensland will unload. Bang, there it goes, but it's gone well out to the left. So it remains 9 goals to 7. Queensland in front. New South Wales just not able to get down to that scoring zone much in this chukker.
Play it.
So we've got 26 seconds left in it. Queensland pretty happy with this score. In goes Kelvin Johnson. He knows he's only got a little bit of time left, but it's a long, strong shot. But first one to it is going to be Glen Gilmore. And in comes Richard Curran, steals the ball. Glen says, oh, no, naughty. I'll bring it back. Brings it around the corner, straightens it up. 8 seconds left in the chukker. Kelvin Johnson pinches it. Has he got time to bring it down to goal? Lets it go, runs it wide.
Yeah,
he'll remember that one when he wakes up in the morning. Got a big grin on his face anyway, so he knows that was a big chance that might have gone missing. So we've got a chukker to go. It's 9 goals to 7.
You right, mate? Fucking slippery.
And it looks like there might have been a penalty awarded there when Kelvin Johnson stole that ball from Glen Gilmore coming down the field. Umpire said no, he was coming across the line a little bit close. So the first penalty of the game.
Nice chukker. Thanks, mate. I was going to... Huh?
Well, it's Queensland leading New South Wales on the first night of our polo competition here at Sydney Royal Easter Show. The boys from the Sunshine State have got plenty to prove here. They've come all the way down to our territory, and it's Glen Gilmore, Lockie Gilmore and Blake Reid that have set themselves up with 9 goals so far, heading into the 4th and final chukker here. New South Wales just a little behind with Richard Curran, Johnny Jones and Kelvin Johnson. But you tell me there may be a penalty goal in there, Ian, and we'll just be waiting for that to be reflected in the scores.
No, you're going that way.
Yeah, what we were talking about before, the safety rules. You saw Glen Gilmore was running hard down the centre of the field. Kelvin Johnson came in from the side, looked up, thought he had room to move, but the umpire said, no, you're a bit close. If a pony tripped or something, that could be a bit dangerous. So I think the penalty will go to Queensland.
We'll just start him in the middle. Yeah. Righto. We'll just throw in. Righto.
They, of course, will be running towards the Fairfax stand end. Well, no, I think there might have been a bit of discussion after that. They've decided no penalty, so the ball's thrown in. So here goes Queensland now. Glen Gilmore comes out of the ruck on a pretty handy grey pony, runs it down to goal, and that'll put him into double figures. It's 10 goals to 7 for Queensland. So out of the ruck, it's Richard Curran, backhand shot. Can he get New South Wales back into this? They need 2 goals quickly here to get within striking distance, but it's Lockie Gilmore up over the halfway. Just sits back, waits. Kelvin Johnson's there for New South Wales. Brings it out towards the sideline. Now he's running it forward. Glen Gilmore back in defence. He's got to get past him. Has he got someone to pass to? Richard Curran's there. Glen Gilmore just gets a stick to the ball, knocks it out of harm's way. And unfortunately, Lockie Gilmore was watching that one. And 2 riders coming down bumped him off his horse. So we'll see if the umpire has an opinion about that one.
We've been showing polo here, 3-a-side exhibition polo since 1939 at the Sydney Royal Easter Show, of course, out at Homebush up until 97, and then ever since out at Moore Park, and then ever since then, ever since 1998, we've been out here at Sydney Olympic Park. And it's been certainly an event that draws the crowds here because it's such a fantastic sport to watch, so fast-paced, such skill out there, and magnificent polo ponies too.
Yes, it's always been an ambition of most players to say they've played on the showground in front of a crowd. Of course, later on, over Easter weekend, got a game a bit later. And I don't know, when does daylight saving start? By Monday night, we'll nearly be playing under lights. So
something quite different, isn't it, playing polo under lights? Yeah. New challenges. Certainly playing with a crowd this size too and in this sort of arena. It's a bit of a different spectacle and a bit of a different experience for these horses. Now, these players, when they're looking for a really good polo pony, what are the 2 or 3 major attributes they really want?
Temperament's probably the most important thing. Trainability. They have to be quick and they have to be very, very athletic. So you're looking for brain, you're looking for a bit of speed, and then you're looking for that ability to stop and turn quickly. So Kelvin Johnson comes in to take the free hit. Lockie Gilmore got penalised for being in the way of 2 players, and he drives it down to the right. I think it goes wide. And so no score results. So a big let off there for Queensland. They're 3 goals in front. Now Glen Gilmore will try and get him up into the scoring end. He brings it up to the 40-yard line. Ooh, leaves it sitting there. Can Kelvin get around in time? No, he can't. Glen Gilmore's got the near side shot from here. Goes out to the left. Blake Reed on the ball. He takes a man out of the way and leaves it there for Lockie Gilmore. Gilmore's shot. Hits a pony, bounces up nicely in front for him, but he's pushed it out to the right, and I think it'll beat them to the back line, and it does. So New South Wales won't waste any time hitting in here. They've got a bit under 5 minutes left in this chucker. Plenty of time to score 3 goals, but you need to do it. Here goes Richard Curran with a nice driving shot. Johnny Jones is in there. Takes Blake Reed out of the way. Johnny Jones, little near side shot. He's got it up in front of goal. Can he tuck it through? No, he can't. Lockie Gilmore clears the ball for Queensland, but picked up there by Richard Curran. Drops it down in front of goal. Lockie Gilmore turns around. Windmills the stick. Brings it over. Passes it up to his father, Glen. Glen Gilmore now brings the ball into centre field. Gets plenty of length on that one. It'll bounce down just out in front of goal. Who's going to get there first? Well, 2 players, but neither can hit it. In comes Blake Reed. He can't get hold of it. Kelvin Johnson can. He pushed it out towards the sideline. Now turns the backhand. Richard Curran's picked up the pass there, but he's hard ridden by Blake Reed. Blake Reed doing a good job in defence here. Turns the near side backhand around. Glen Gilmore traps it. Pops it onto a new line, so he gets the next shot. Bring it up now. Kelvin Johnson. Johnny Jones gets it out of harm's way for New South Wales. Turned around by Lockie Gilmore. Gilmore's shot. He's going to be covered by Richard Curran. So New South Wales still down in that defensive half. Richard Curran trying to bring him up over the halfway. Gets hold of it, brings it up. He's got it right out on the sideline. Big angled shot required from here. Kelvin Johnson picks up what's left. Drops it down in front of goal. Can Johnny Jones get it? No, he can't. In comes Kelvin Johnson. He can. Lovely cut backhand by Kel Johnson. So 10 goals to 8 the score now. Still time. About 3 minutes left in this chukker.
Ready.
So New South Wales keen to get on with it. But Blake Reed's there to play the backhand up to Glen Gilmore. Glen Gilmore plays the backhand out now for Lockie Gilmore. Lockie Gilmore says, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go back in front. And he does it nicely for Queensland. So they push out to 11 goals now, New South Wales 8. Remembering this is not a final score. We take the scores over the whole 3 nights before we decide the winner of the Interstate Challenge. Polo here again on Thursday and, of course, Easter Saturday the 31st.
Let's go.
So out of the ruck, it's Glen Gilmore. Cleans the ball up, doesn't get a lot of length on it, so Kelvin Johnson's in there next. He plays a backhand shot. Lockie Gilmore's got it covered. He puts the ball up through the ruck. In comes Blake Reed now. His shot doesn't get a lot of length on it, but he keeps control and leaves it there for Glen Gilmore now, who just brings the ball up over the halfway. Backhand by Johnny Jones. Up to Richard Curran. Richard Curran windmills the stick, brings it around, plays it on the near side. Lockie Gilmore hooks him out of the play, gets a little shot in himself. Now he goes around the corner. Johnny Jones back there in defence. Lockie's shot goes way out to the left, running down towards the corner. Johnny Jones will watch that one carefully, looks to see who he's got behind him. Who's he going to hit it to? He goes up along the sideline. Doesn't quite get the length he'd like on that one, though, because he had Richard Curran waiting for it. Now Richard Curran gets it out of the mess, and it's turned around there by Blake Reed. Reed shot covered by Johnny Jones. Johnny Jones' shot out towards the sideline. Backhand by Richard Curran. He'll come. No, he won't. It's stolen by Lockie Gilmore. Gilmore running the ball up over the halfway line. Shot from Glen Gilmore. Takes it down towards the scoring zone. Backhand shot there by Johnny Jones. Sits up for Kelvin Johnson. No, it's Richard Curran. Curran is there. So is Lockie Gilmore. Lockie Gilmore's shot goes left to the post. No score.
Play, boys.
So Kelvin Johnson hits in from the back, but time running out now for New South Wales. They're trailing by 3 goals. They've only got about half a minute left in the chukker. Up comes Richard Curran with a scoring chance, though. He dribbles the ball in. Can't quite get the last shot in. Cleared by Glen Gilmore. Gilmore's shot way out to the sideline. Lockie Gilmore comes through now. Plays it on the near side. Doesn't get a lot of length on it. Turned around there by Johnny Jones. But it's trapped by Glen Gilmore. 7 seconds left. They're leading by 3 goals, so nobody's going to try and break their necks over this now. Queensland, 11 goals to 8. There goes the bell, and that will be the end of the 4th chukker, end of the 1st round of the Interstate Polo Challenge.
Chukker, boys! You get hit by
So, players just having a bit of a practice hit as they come off the field. But well done to Queensland. They came back from a couple of goals behind in the 2nd chukker and pushed themselves out to a handy lead. And then they've hung on to that 3 goals now for a chukker and a half. So Glen and Lockie Gilmore and Blake Reed, congratulations. And the New South Wales team can do a bit of a rethink about their attack in the 2nd half.
Well, Ian McDewey, it's been a real pleasure having you up here in the commentators' box. We'll can't wait to see night 2 of our Interstate Polo Challenge, because New South Wales are going to need to make up some ground there to catch Queensland with that sort of lead.
They sure are, but I'm sure they'll come back all guns blazing on